Hi Max, and I want to tell you about the third and fourth episodes of the second season of the series Strike Back. Section 20 is investigating Latif. He's got people everywhere. There's a truck with money in it and classified codes that only an experienced hacker can open. There's a man in the truck, carrying a little boy. He's the truck driver's son. The man stands in the road with the child and they stop the truck. The child's father wants to get out, but his partner talks about how they will be killed if they get out. The man then kills his partner and goes after the child. The criminals take over the truck and retrieve a special box that has secret encryptions. Scott tells his friend Stonebridge that he has become very distracted because of his mistress at work. But the friend gets angry and says it's none of his business. A new hacker arrives in town. His name is Buckley, and he will help the criminals decipher the code from a special electronic box. At this time, members of Section 20 go looking for Buckley and find him. They chase after him and eventually Buckley is killed by a gun. But Buckley has a cell phone and starts calling. Scott picks up the phone and says he is Buckley. When he arrived at the bar for the meeting place, he was met by a beautiful young girl who flirted with him and seduced him. Such an interesting person. But she didn't look very pretty to me. Nice legs, though. The cute girl takes Scott, or rather Buckley, undercover to the top for some privacy. Scott undresses and his new girlfriend injects a sleeping pill into his neck. Scott is taken to a secret location where they strap explosives to him to see if Buckley is real. And they set a timer for 4 minutes. And then they leave. Scott wants to call Section 20, but decides not to, so as not to expose himself. Before that, Scott was told there might be traps, so he'd declassify himself. Eventually, the timer starts ticking and Scott says goodbye to his life. He's scared, and he's really still young, and could be making love to young girls instead of sitting strapped down. But in the end, nothing explodes and he passes the test. They give him a box with electronics and tell him to open special doors. His friend Stonebridge is already guarding him, but he doesn't give himself away. Meanwhile, Scott makes love to a criminal woman who seduces him. Scott returns to the 20th department and says that he has a code, which he saw from a special box. Now they can put a special virus on this box and open the code. Scott tries to remember the code, but he doesn't find it easy. But finally, after 10 minutes, he remembers what the code was on the pieces of paper from the criminals. In Department Number 20, everyone suspects each other of lying, but this does not prevent them from sleeping with each other. Of course, doubts are doubts, but one-night stands are one thing. Stonebridge's mistress is also involved in the story. He was dating a man who has a special code on his hand that opens a laboratory with chemical weapons. The very lab that Latif is after. A woman goes to meet the man and gets stolen by criminals. Scott goes on a case where they sneak into a secret biological headquarters. Scott can't find the right code at first, because there are some computer problems in the My-20 headquarters. But after a few minutes, everything is set up. And the criminals, together with Scott, get to the real biological weapon. At the end of the episode, they kill Stonebridge's mistress, blown up in a van. And Stonebridge is sad because there's nothing he can do. But eventually they find the mistress's killer and kill him. But they never found a trace on Latif. So I guess he'll be in the next episode. So the friends killed everyone, but they never found the master terrorist. I like the second season because it has a lot of fights and shootings. In general, the second season is already more modern and interesting. The first season was like an old action movie filled with unrealistic characters and heroes. In the second season, the writers added realism and were able to make the storyline interesting. I like that they added new beautiful girls. It adds a spice to the series. It also gives great interludes between the actions.